Today, a new battle began. Not just another clash of blades, not just another maneuver across hills and dust, but a reckoning. A day written in iron and flame. Cities stirred behind me. Garrisons rumbled like thunder beneath the stone streets. Goons, rebels, and tribesmen whispered in every shadow. Barbarians stood everywhere, behind walls, in forests, beneath banners they barely understood. And I was not ready. Not fully. I had lost too much, but I was still alive. And survival demands momentum. Spain threatened from the west. Africa rumbled to the south. The roads were bleeding, the lands trembling. But it was time that decided everything. Time, and what we did with it. And today, time gave us war. A great battle. A firestorm meant to crush resistance and silence. The cowards who dared scatter my lines. The day we would separate the Germans, strike the wilds, and remind the world who commands the legions. My formation was set like scripture. Cavalry on the flanks, mobile, sharp, eager. Spearmen on the front lines, shields braced, faces unreadable. Legionaries behind them, disciplined, calm, waiting for the break. The third line, my cohorts and reserves, iron-wrapped in patience. Archers formed the outer shell, ready to light the skies. I stood before them and raised my voice. Are you ready to fight? Some hesitated. Maybe. Are you ready to die? Yes, they said. Louder now. Then make more than death, they roared. Prepare to do something. This is your line. These are your brothers. We win here, or we become smoke. We moved forward slowly, steadily, every step measured. The enemy was waiting, crouched in the hills watching, like jackals in the mist, short distance now. Then they came, a sudden charge. Cavalry, fast, brutal, descending from the left ridge, a flash of blades, a clash of hooves. My left flank staggered, my spearmen moved to cover. I gave the signal, my own cavalry fell back, not to retreat, but to draw them in. Behind them, my infantry locked shields, a wall of resistance. The enemy slammed into iron and stopped like crashing waves. Then the second strike. Another cavalry unit charged the right side, testing for weakness. They found none. My men didn't bend. One elite enemy unit. Their pride broke through the gap. They aimed straight for my corps. I had been waiting for that. From behind the ridge, my hidden cavalry unit descended. The reserve, untouched, unseen. They didn't charge the front. They swept around and struck the enemy's rear line like thunder from the heavens. The trap was sprung. They collapsed from within. I ordered a focus on their general, their banner bearer. We struck him down in the center of the chaos, and as his horse fell, the morale of their army crumbled with him. Still they tried, flanking, stabbing, swarming in disorganized packs. But my forces held control. They kept formation, they kept breathing, they kept killing. Spirits surged in the ranks. My archers sang death across the field. Cavalry swept wide and smashed through the last of the resistance. The enemy turned, they ran. They always run. And I let them, for a moment, just enough to hear the silence break behind them. Then we gave chase. Victory. We crushed them. We took the ground, took their weapons, took their dignity. And I stood in the middle of it all, stained with the war I carried, and said, let them see the result. But even as I smiled, I knew this wasn't the end. There are still busters in the hills, still raiders on our roads, still tribes who spit at banners and torch villages. Today was a victory, but glory still waits. And I will be there when it's time to take it. He gave them quietly, burn the enemy camp, secure the hill. No resting, not yet, because Rome had more to prove. And war always had another chapter. The preparation for the war against the Langobards, the roads were quieter, now not silent, never silent. But calmer, like the world itself was holding its breath. The fields outside the cities had stopped burning. The scouts were returning with fewer wounds, and the border skirmishes had slowed, if only for a moment. But the commander knew better. The calm before a great battle is never peace. It is pressure, and pressure demands preparation. He stood in the heart of the capital, surrounded by stone, steel, and voices that all wanted something different. Couriers ran between halls. Senators argued behind closed doors. Merchants grumbled about taxes, while soldiers drilled on muddy parade grounds. The war machine was moving, heavy, slow, inevitable. Fleets, the commander said, leaning over the war table. We'll need 3, maybe more. Africa must be secured, and Spain must hold the ports. One officer nodded. Another winced. We barely have enough timber. Then take it, strip it from temples if you must. He wasn't here to please them, he was here to win. Infrastructure reports followed. Bridges collapsed, roads worn thin. A quarter of the grain supply from the eastern provinces had rotted in transit. The blacksmiths cried for iron. The stonemasons begged for time. There was no time. Every delay was a weakness the enemy would exploit. And politics, of course, sank its teeth into everything. Governors refusing levies, noble families whispering against the crown, Eastern advisers suggesting peace talks as if words could stop fire and blood. He dismissed them. There would be no peace, not with the Langobards. They had evaded, scattered, regrouped. Again and again, they had struck at outposts, burned villages, harassed convoys, disappeared into forests, wild and maddening, like shadows with blades. But now, they were gathering. 3 armies, possibly more, uniting under of chaos and revenge, and the commander had made his decision. We strike first, he said to his generals. We finish them. The plan would be simple. In theory, the fleets would isolate their supply routes. The army would break through the southern marshland. Forts would be built behind them to secure the route. And then the capital of the Langobards would burn. The soldiers were already moving. Siege engines creaked over mountain passes. Legions crossed rivers by makeshift rafts. In the west, reinforcements arrived from Gaul, tired, ragged, but eager for blood. Rome's full weight was shifting toward this moment, and the enemy knew it. That made them dangerous. But the commander felt it in his bones. This was the last dance. This would be the war that ended this age of smoke and wolves. He looked out from the battlements at the horizon, where smoke curled faintly in the distance. That smoke belonged to the Langobards. Not for long, prepare the legions, he said. The next battle will be wild, unpredictable. He smiled. But I think it will finish them. Burn the enemy camp, secure the hill, no resting. Not yet, because Rome had more to prove. And war always had another chapter. It wasn't fast. It wasn't meant to be. 3 enemy armies had gathered in the hills, like vultures circling the same corpse, unsure who would strike first. Their banners flapped in different colors, but their goal was one: stop the Romans from advancing. The commander had seen this before. Too many eager tribes forming fragile alliances. Strength in numbers, weakness in trust. That would be their downfall. His first legion set camp beyond the ridge, out of sight, just beyond javelin range. The second was still on the march, delayed by flooded crossings and broken wheels. The third, heavy with siege weapons, had only just begun positioning the ballistae on the southern slope. So he waited. Days passed in silence. The enemy didn't move. They watched, and the commander let them. It was a siege not of walls, but of nerve. He used distance like a weapon. He used time like a blade. He let the enemy feel the pressure, build like smoke, in the lungs. Then the steps began. Step by step, the artillery rolled forward. Step by step, the enemy saw their supply lines cut. Step by step, cavalry patrols harassed their scouts, never fighting. Just seen step by step, every move was measured, every silence intentional. The Langobards made their mistake on the 6th day. They assumed the Romans were stalling. They believed the weight meant weakness. They launched their cavalry early, a wide flank maneuver, likely meant to trap the Roman right side and test the line. But the commander had seen it coming days before. He let the charge come. He absorbed it. Spearmen shifted like water, parting and closing again. The cavalry broke against the line and retreated. Then they were drawn into the kill zone. Archers from the second ridge, hidden, unleashed volleys like thunder cracking stone. The enemy flank collapsed, and the siege began to turn. From the left, another barbarian group tried to fall back, retreating toward the woods. But Roman raiders, hiding behind broken terrain, ambushed them before they could vanish. The enemy line fractured. The second Roman legion arrived at dusk. By then, the enemy was trying to reposition, disorder becoming fear. Morale slipped. The commander stood tall, watching from the hilltop above the battlefield. Now he said simply, and they moved. The third legion surged in, fresh, armored, and merciless. A final push into the heart of the enemy camp, fires lit. Orders shouted, surrender demanded. Some resisted. Others fled, but many, most, dropped their weapons and ran. A surrender by chaos. The enemy's heart was broken. Their coalition shattered victory. But the commander did not smile. He looked across the valley, at the ruined tents, the torn flags, the twisted bodies in the dust. "This is not the end," he said under his breath. "It never is." His officers approached, waiting for orders. He gave them quietly. "Burn the enemy camp. Secure the hill. No resting." Not yet, because Rome had more to prove, and war always had another chapter. 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 War